Dear student, in first part of Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, we have seen that about the policy of apartheid which scared many people and it take a long time for them to move on. The author also mentions that this hard time had its negative impact, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice against this policy of apartheid. And he has also given the names of the persons, great personalities, and that we have seen. And now we go on page number 21. Now we see the second line. Students, see the second line. We start from the second line. Perhaps, second line in middle, perhaps it requires such depth of operation to create such heights of character. My country is rich in the minerals and gems that lie beneath its soil, but I have always known that its great wealth is its people, finer and truer than the purest diamond. So here in this paragraph, the author mentions that this hard time had its negative impact, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice. Nelson Mandela says that it required that level of unjust treatment to produce such great heroes. Then he says about South Africa that South Africa is rich in minerals and gems, but its greatest strength lies in its people. Now we go to second paragraph, that is first paragraph we can call. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attack and torture without breaking and showing a strength and resilience and defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers the fear. Here, comrades means colleague. Resilience means the ability to deal with any kind of hardships and recover from its effects. And triumph means victory or achievement. And defies means refuse to obey. So here in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela gained his strength to stand against the wrong from all the great nationalists he mentioned above, who have even risked their lives for freedom and tolerated ill treatment, but never stopped fighting. He learned that courage didn't mean the absence of fear, but the ability to overcome fear. The man who overcomes his fear is called brave. So here he says about the brave person. He is the brave who has conquered the fear, who has overcome the fear. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest time in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards. Perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. So here the students, grimmest means very serious. Glimmer means shine faintly with a wavering light. Push to our limits means push to the last point in our ability to bear pain. Reassure. Reassure means say or do something to remove the doubts. So here in this paragraph, Nelson Mandela says that one is taught by society to hate humans because of their skin, color, age, gender and religion. So student, bear in mind, it is taught by its society to the people, okay, to hate someone because of its skin, color, age, gender and religion. No one is inborn with hatred. The author's idea is that if people can be taught hatred, they can also be taught love and brotherhood. In their most testing times in prison, when they were being treated brutally, Mandela would see a pinch of humanity and kindness in one of the guards, and that was enough to keep him going. He believes that goodness in human beings can be suppressed but never eliminated. Then, in life, every man has twin obligations. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children. And he had an obligation to his people, his community, his country. In a civil and human society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclination and abilities. So here in this paragraph, obligations means duty or a commitment. Okay, obligations means here duty or commitment, and civil means courteous or polite, and inclinations means natural tendencies of behavior. Inclinations means natural tendency of behavior. So here, according to him, Nelson Mandela, every human being has its responsibility towards the family as well as to the society. Okay, so now we go on next page. But before going to that, there are 5 questions, and the heading is oral comprehension check. So students, that you have to do, and the answer of those questions that you have to write in your notebook. Now we go on next page. So student, on page number 22, Second line, last word is but. From there we start. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. In South Africa, a man of color who was attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart. A twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. I did not in the beginning choose to place my people above my family. But in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. So here in this paragraph, the meaning of inevitably means unavoidably. Twilight means half light, semi-darkness. Rebellion means the action or process of resisting. Okay, so here in this paragraph, dear students, the author Nelson Mandela says that generally, under normal circumstances, a person can maintain the balance between the two duties. But in country like South Africa, it was never so easy to perform his duty. When a person of color would come up for his society, he would be arrested, taken away from his family. Whenever a person tries to protect a country or family, he will be taken away from his family, thus keeping them from fulfilling both responsibilities. In the beginning, Mandela did not put his people over his family. But it was only later when he realized that in order to be there for his people, he was compromising his duties towards his own family. Now, second paragraph, dear student. I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free in every way that I could know. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut. Free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village. Free to roast millies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slowly moving bulls. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by the custom of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. So here in this paragraph, dear student, stream means a small narrow river and milies means a maize plant. Okay, so here the author says that, Nelson Mandela says that he did not have the plan to stand against the apartheid system early in his life, in his childhood. He has not planned that he will stand against the apartheid. But he lived his childhood like any normal child in South Africa. He only had to follow the rules set up by his father or the custom of his tribe. So he was not able to understand when he was a childhood about the system of apartheid. Okay. So up to now we have done, students. The next part of the remaining part of the chapter will be done in next lecture. Thank you.